All right. We are actually live. Want to make sure that we get some good feedback. We are live and we are doing this. Welcome again today. I'm going to turn my volume down on my YouTube just a little so I won't get so much feedback on you, but I want to make sure that they can hear me as well. So today is day 3. Welcome, everyone. This is the journey. This is what we've been talking about, right? This is what we have been working towards and working on. So I'm hoping that you have been seeing a difference. I'm hoping that some of the things that you've been learning from me, that I have been sharing with you all, are giving you the courage to not just live your life and be a bystander, but to actually live your life and to be fully checked in, clocked in, and productive in it, right? More than anything else, we're going to be productive. So today is day 3. Let's talk about day 3. Day 3 says write three intentions. Remember, vision brings clarity. That's the whole title for today. Vision brings clarity. The scripture is Habakkuk 2 and 2, right? But gratitude. We are still in the mindset of gratitude. Gratitude. What future am I thankful for? Go ahead and start visualizing it. Do you realize that visualization gives you the ability and the capacity to actually see in your mind's eye what you're desiring, imagine what you're feeling, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, how you're interacting with the future version. But do you realize that your brain does not understand or know the difference between your reality and what's imagined, right? So, guess what happens? When your brain sees you visiting that imaginary place so often, it decides, hey, let me go ahead and make sure that all of our interactions are feeling like this: gracious, happy, loving, fulfilling, prosperous, adventurous, all of those things, right? So it's a consistent thing. And your brain will begin to scour pathways, resources, connections that it needs to attract to you so that you can make this happen and become your reality. Now, that's a beautiful thing. So, now, before we continue to keep going deeper, I always like to make sure that we set the stage, right? So, with vision bringing clarity, like I told you, it's Habakkuk 2, and the scriptures write the vision and engrave it so plainly upon tablets that they who read it may run, right? The person who wrote it is not the person who's going to read it and run. The person who wrote it is the person who wrote it and already took off running. The reason why people will come up behind you and read it is because they've been called, assigned to walk with you, to help you, to support you, to fund you, to whatever, right? But in order for them to know which direction you took off running in, when you plan to make a left or right, or when you plan to go in a turnabout and you're going to take the second exit off of the turnabout, that's why you're writing the vision, right? So that you can give plain and clear and concise instructions on which way you took off running. So that those who are called to accompany you on the run, called to back you up, called to support you, when they read it and they take off running because it rings and resonates in them, then by the time you start getting weary in well doing, because that's what happens, that's called life, they will be able to run up behind you, lift your arms up, and encourage you to keep going. Sometimes they will even pick you up and carry you for a little while to give you a full opportunity to rest. Does that make sense? Great. Okay, so let's keep going. So the vision has an appointed time, and it does. And even when fulfillment appears delayed, when it feels halted or stalled, remain patient. Always remain patient and faithful, because guess what? God has established, literally, for you to win. And guess what? What he has established will surely come to pass if you faint not. What does fainting look like? Us getting frustrated and giving up. us getting tired and weary, and we didn't write the vision, so there's nobody running up behind us to hold our arms up, to pick us up, to encourage us, to push us, to pull us, whatever it is needed at that moment, right? And so because of that, we all encounter those moments and those times where it gets difficult. So remember, write the vision clearly, take the next intentional steps, and trust God's timing. That's the important part, right? Trust God's timing. So here's our gratitude prompt. What future am I thankful for? What are you visualizing? What are you seeing, smelling, tasting, touching? What are you envisioning for your future, for your family, for your business, for your ministry, for your marketplace endeavors, for your legacy and your lineage? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Right? So today's focus, we're going to take some time and slow down long enough to become clear about what matters. What matters to you? What's important to you? Think about this, right? So an intention is more than something that we hope to accomplish, right? It identifies how you want to think, respond, and even show up while completing or accomplishing your responsibilities. Does that make sense? So today, I wanted you to choose 3 intentions. I just like the number 3, so hey, right? So I say 1 intention for your personal well-being. Remember, we always divide it when we talking about 3. Let's make it relevant and real, right? So what is that? 1 personal for well-being, 1 intention. You can write it down, you can put it in your mind, however you want to do it, right? Number 2, that 1 intention for your spiritual or emotional health. And 3, 1 intention connected to your purpose, your family, your work, or your future. Now, forgive me. So now with that being said, what does that look like, feel like to you? Please forgive whenever I have to touch this phone, it's going to shift. But what does that look like, feel like, taste like, whatever to you? Because what I see, feel is something totally different than what you see, feel, smell, taste, whatever, right? So the goal is not to create another overwhelming task list. That's never the goal, never. The goal is to give yourself today some direction, right? Daily direction. So day 3, vision brings clarity. With vision bringing clarity, how does that look? What does that feel like? What is that? Again, going into your mind and actually start putting it down. Write it down, because when you put pen to paper, it begins to resonate and register differently inside of your brain, your body, and everywhere else, because now you have a record of this intention that you're planning to fulfill, right? Many of us begin our days reacting instead of us actually setting our intentions, and instead of us actually waking up and not reaching for our phone, not reaching for the remote control for the TV, any of those things, but literally taking some deep breaths, setting your day, speaking out of your mouth what you're looking for or expecting to happen in this day, right? We respond to messages, responsibilities, problems, other people's needs, whatever feels urgent. Before we even realize it, the day is almost over. And we have not spent any of our energy on us. We spend our energy responding to everything except for what truly matters to us. So instead of us being responsive, let us be proactive. Sounds like a plan? Right. So this is why intention is so important. So an intention gives you direction for your mind before distractions begin to make decisions for you. And believe me, distractions will make decisions for you if you don't intentionally set your day. So Habakkuk 2 teaches us that it's important to write the vision. That's why you all see these things written. These are visions. These are things. And as some of them come true, you may see little holes, you may see blank spots. Why? Because those came true, so I took them down. Now I have to get some more writing done so I can replace them, right? Sounds like a plan? Let's work the plan, right? So now, it teaches us that writing the vision and making it clear is vital. Writing creates a visible connection between what you're thinking and what you believe, plus the actions that you are preparing to take. Once all of those come together, right, it's a beautiful package that you now have in your head, in your heart, in your mind's eye. And guess what? Now you can start making the steps towards it. Whether it's a high capacity day, we're going to do much. Whether it's a low capacity day, we're going to do the minimum. We're going to honor where we are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. We're going to honor it. And in honoring that, we have the opportunity now to continue the momentum, right? That's our goal. We're continuing the momentum. We're not restarting, we're resuming. Sounds like a plan? Okay, so your intentions does not have to be complicated. It doesn't. It doesn't even have to be this long list of to-dos. It can simply be, today I intend to protect my peace. Today I intend to complete one task that's important to me. Today I intend to speak to myself with greater compassion. Today I intend to respond instead of reacting. Today, I intend to honor my body and my emotional capacity instead of pushing myself to being overwhelmed or anxious. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be what you're desiring and what you're committing to doing today, right? And intention is not another reason to pressure yourself. It's not that thing that just like, oh my gosh, here we go again. It is a guardrail. See how that resonates a little different? It rings it's a guardrail. It's not the pressure, it's not the speed, it's the guardrail. It helps you recognize what deserves your attention and what may need to wait, right? This is especially important during the seasons of grief, transition, emotional exhaustion, or even uncertainty, right? How many of us have been going through some of those things lately? Just give me some hearts. Give me a one in the chat for those who are live with me. Just, yeah. Some of us are going through those transitions. And as you're growing through those transitions, what you don't want to do is put more on yourself than you can bear. You don't want to force yourself or overwhelm yourself. You want to love on yourself. Be compassionate. So when your mind feels overwhelmed, you may not be able to hold 10 priorities at once. That does not mean that you're lazy or incapable. It doesn't. It may mean that you need a clearer and gentler structure that allots for life's transitions. So today we're choosing 3 intentions, not 30, not 15, 3. You with me? Okay. So before we write them down, and trust me, I want you to get ready to write them. Before you write them down, I want you to just pause and ask yourself this question. What matters most today? Only you can answer that for you. What matters most today? How do I want to feel while moving through this day? How do you want to feel moving through this day? And then last one, what is one action that would help you make or become more aligned with the future that you deserve or desire or visualize? What's one action that would help you to become more aligned with the future that you desire, you deserve, you've imagined, you visualized. Now, write your 3 intentions using this statement. Today, I intend to, whatever it is. Remember, your first one is intention that can support your body. The second one is an intention to support your mind, your emotions, or your spiritual life. And your third one is an intention that can support your purpose, your work, your family, or your future. Got it? I'm going to give you a few minutes to get that together. And I'm going to step on my live. If you all have never tried this, I know they don't give me, I'm not a sponsor yet. However, these things, especially this lemon lime, it is so refreshing. It's so refreshing. And it's like, it has the adaptogens, like the reishi, the mushroom, the, come on, where is the turkey tail, lion's mane. It has ashwagandha in here, L-theanine, all of these adaptogens, right? And it is amazing, but it's so refreshing. So it gives you kind of like that kombucha feeling without all the sugar of kombucha, which I love. That was a commercial. Don't worry about that. Okay, so now that you've written them, right? Here are some examples. Today, I intend to drink more water and honor my body. Today, I intend to pause before responding emotionally. Today, I intend to complete the task that will move my vision forward. Just one, just one. Your intention should guide you, not condemn you. At the end of the day, review what you wrote. Do not only ask, did I complete everything? No. Instead, I want you to ask this, or also ask this. Did these intentions help me make clearer choices today? Did I notice when I was becoming distracted? Did you? Did I treat myself with greater compassion? I hope and pray you did. Did I take at least one step, just one, toward becoming the version of me that I'm aiming for, the higher version of me? Just one step. And then today's gratitude prompt. What future am I thankful for? If you haven't gotten the calendar, you need to get it, because guess what? It has all of this on there. It doesn't have all of this. Of course, I'm expounding on a lot of it, but it has the basics information on there so you can see the calendar and you're like, hey, you can do this in the morning versus doing it in the afternoon when I come in to do my video. And the reason why I chose to do the video in the afternoon is because I'm being gracious to myself, because I'm shifting my schedule and my calendar to be accommodating to some things that are coming up, right? So this will be a perfect time for me. And I'm hoping and praying that some of you all get an opportunity to join me on a regular basis. Now, with that, take a moment and thank God for the future that you're building. Even if you cannot see every detail of it yet, be grateful. Gratitude and being gracious, I promise you, it opens so many doors for us. It allows us and affords us opportunities to build so many things and to accomplish so many things, right? You can be grateful for the healing that is taking place within you. You can be grateful for the clarity that is developing within you. You can be grateful for the opportunities being prepared for you, right? You can be grateful for the man or woman that you are becoming. You can show gratitude for simply being able to have the life that you have, knowing that there are millions of people in the world who are less fortunate. Gratitude allows you to emotionally connect with the vision before you completely arrive there. Remember, we talked about that yesterday, learning how to enjoy the journey there, so that when we reach a place called there, it's not just this huge disappointment. I remember there was an athlete, I won't say names, but one of the things he said that he had trouble with was he had spent his entire childhood, teens, and early adult life aiming for this goal. Once he achieved that goal, he said he felt so empty and lost because he had nothing else. And he didn't get a chance to enjoy the journey there. So then he had to take a few steps back and he had to start over again. And he had to figure out and remind himself why he enjoyed the sport that he chose. What made him love it? What made him choose and pursue that, right? So think about that. So I want you to say this with me or repeat after me, whichever is more comfortable. I do not have to accomplish everything today. I need clarity about what matters, courage to take the next step, and grace for the journey. My vision deserves intentional action. Did you feel how that resonated when you said it to yourself? Want to say it one more time? Let's do it. So one day I'm going to learn how to put phone on do not disturb. And when I do, then we won't have to worry about those little things. But okay, let's go. Repeat after me. I do not have to accomplish everything today. I need clarity about what matters, courage to take the next step, and grace for the journey. Grace for the journey. That's important. My vision deserves intentional action. Right. So after completing today's practices and your journal prompts and so forth, this is our check-in moment, right? I want you to check in day 3. Put a green and white check. If you know the green box around the white check that you have in your emojis, yes, put that check there if you completed everything. Modified, put a purple heart so I'll know if you modified it or you actually did it. Or if you need to take today to actually rest and return tomorrow, just put a green leaf there. Sounds like a plan? All right, and you have to do it in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. So get there. So remember this, one day at a time, one choice at a time, one transformed life at a time. And the reason why I say one at a time, because guess what? The only one you can be worried about is yours. When you have children, my grandmother used to tell me that they're on your lap for a season and then they're on your heart for the rest of their lives. I didn't understand it then, but let your babies grow up and move out your house and start living life, and life starts rocking their heads and life starts lifing in their lives. Trust me, you'll understand about it, them sitting on your heart for the rest of their lives. So here are 10 questions that, and I'll choose 10 every day, 10 questions that I'm going to answer, right? So what is the difference between intention and a goal? A goal describes an outcome that you want to achieve, right? But an intention describes how you want to approach the process. It's the practical steps to approaching the process, right? To going through the process. So now a goal may be to finish a project. That's really broad, right? I just want to finish the product. You didn't say you want to finish strong. You didn't say how you want to finish. You didn't say, any of those things. But your intentions may be to work with focus, with patience, and with consistency. So when you add those, now you've given it a little bit more depth, right? You've given some structure to what you're saying. And now you can actually begin to see some things walking out, playing out in your life, right? So goals identify the destination. Intentions guide how you travel. Remember, I like to paint in pictures, right? So the goal is saying, okay, my goal is I'm going to go to Paris. But how I travel, the plane ticket, whether it's first class or business, the type of luggage I'm taking with me, the things I need when I get there. Will I need those converters because I'm coming from the US and I need to make sure that I can plug up and charge all of my electronics when I get there? Do I need, all of those steps, those things, right? It's how you travel. Got it? Got it. Question number 2. Why should I write my intentions down? Well, Habakkuk 2 tells us, but we're going to go a little bit deeper, right? Writing slows your thoughts down and it makes your priorities visible. When you have something tangible in front of you, like these are some books that I plan on reading, right? And I've read like one of them already. I got to check that one off. But when you write things down, it makes it something tangible. Like I said, it slows the thought process down. It also gives you something specific to return to when you become distracted, when you become overwhelmed or emotionally activated. It can be that grounding point when you slow down to read it back to yourself, right? You don't have to rely only on your memory. I tell people all the time, some people are like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm, so much older than myself. I forget so much. How much stuff are you actually writing down? Because all the stuff I have written down makes it a lot easier for me to remember the things that I need to remember. Doesn't mean I don't ever forget stuff. Heck no, ask my husband. Nope. But what it does mean is, even if I forget it here, when I'm writing and reading through my Post-its or my to-do list or my notes, guess what? I'll run across it again. It's like, oh, that's something quick. Let me go do that real quick. And then it's done, right? Out of the way. Your written intentions become a daily guide. How many of us know that we can use some daily guides? I have some affirmations that stay on my bathroom mirror. Some people who may come over to my house is like, why is it on your mirror? First of all, it's private. Second of all, it's for me. Everybody doesn't stand in the mirror every single day and look themselves eye to eye and tell themselves, I love you. In every volume and you know what I'm saying, and vibration and frequency that you can think of or imagine, I love you. I love you. Do you do that to yourself? I do. And I have something on my mirror to remind me. Why? Because I need the inner me, that little girl that sits inside of here, that little girl who's been abandoned, who's been rejected, who's been hurt, who's been abused, who's been even pushed aside by me. I'm looking her in her eyes and letting her know I'm never going to abandon you again. I'm walking this journey with you. You survived the 100% of the worst days of your life. Your track record is perfection. And so our goal every single day is progress and forward momentum. If you can do that for yourself, then imagine how much easier it becomes for you to do that for others, right? Right. Okay. So now, number 3, what if I don't know what I want? Begin with what you need today. Sometimes our wants aren't the very thing that we want. As a social worker, we have things as we call it a perceived want, and then we have the actual needs. So now somebody would call and say, I need some clothes for my child. I need da 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 da. I need school supplies. I need that that that. Whole list of needs, right? But as I'm talking to them, I realize that the reason why they have the volume in their voice and the passion and it's so gritty in the conversation is because the light bill is past due and about to be turned off, and they're concerned. School is about to start and they don't have school supplies, nor do they see a way to get it because they had to work on the day that the local church was giving out supplies. Also, they've been concerned because they had been off work for a couple of weeks for health issues, so they're behind on other bills. So now, am I concerned about the kids getting clothes? Absolutely. That's me writing a voucher and making sure they have a way to get there and get back home with whatever they get. Perfect. But connecting them to agencies that will help pay bills, connecting them to agencies that will help make sure that the lights stay on, the gas is paid, the rent is paid, you know what I'm saying? All those things as well. Finding out that the health insurance is about to expire. Okay, that's a whole different story. Now, So as a person begins to open up more, you begin to see more. So for you, if you don't know what you want, start with what you need. I need a safe place to be able to speak my truth. I need, you know what I'm saying, someone to break down to me some things that I don't quite understand that's going on so that I can have clarity and I can then begin to structure a plan that strategically helps me move out of it, right? So ask, what needs my attention today? I always say when, what's important now? When? Okay, then what would help me feel supported? I saw a video of a traffic stop, and a young lady was speeding, but she didn't know she was speeding. When the police officer pulled her over, she was kind of snappy, but when he asked a few more questions versus responding to her emotions and responding to how she was acting, he found out that she was sitting there crying and driving. She wasn't intentionally speeding, but her child had just been taken into DHS custody and she was frantic. Her mind was racing. She was living in a homeless shelter, had just come out of an abusive relationship. All of these things compounded on her in that moment. And so the officer kept asking her questions. Well, what do you need? How can I help you? I'm going to give you I'm going to release you with a warning this time, but how can I help you? What do you need right now? And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Now she's breaking down crying. And then the officer said, well, do you mind if I give you a hug? That hug led to her breaking down and crying. That hug led to him connecting her to someone, and they helped her. That hug led to 8 months later, she had her child back, and she went to the police department and found this officer to thank him and introduce him to her child that she now has back. That hug led to her not thinking that all police officers are just a part of the system and they don't care. That hug led to her feeling strong enough to say, I have enough in me to take one more step to keep fighting for my life. What is one area where you need greater clarity? This is helping you figure out what you want, by helping you understand what you need. You don't have to have a 5-year vision plan or a 10-year plan or whatever. You don't have to have all that. Just to choose a healthy intention for today. Let's just make it through today. Sometimes we have to make it through the hour. Sometimes we have to take the day 1 minute at a time. I successfully made through that minute. Okay, now we're in the next one. What can I do to make it through this next minute? Sometimes it's just simply, we're going to put one foot in front of the other and we're going to breathe. After we take that breath, okay, now I can put my other foot in front of the other one. And we move forward that way. Slow momentum is still forward momentum, right? And some days, on your low capacity days, you need to make sure that you have those things set in standard or set in writing, what my practices are on my low capacity days. Number 4, why are we choosing only 3 intentions? Don't ask me that. So, too many intentions can become another overwhelming task list. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you to rebuild and restructure some things in your life so that you can make the main thing again, which, guess what? A lot of us have not been the main thing in our own lives. Does that make sense? 3 creates enough structure to provide direction without placing unnecessary pressure on your mind. I can give you the scientific proof, but none of that matters to you. It's simple enough and compact enough that it doesn't become too overwhelming or overbearing, right? It allows you to focus on what is most meaningful instead of doing everything all at once. Simple enough? Okay. So now, so I told you all yesterday was a low capacity day. Something I hadn't done or had time to do, I cut my fingernails down because, as you see, I had scratched myself really bad. And the healing process is almost done and completed because I almost stopped picking it up completely. But I had to cut my nails down because I was a threat to myself. My typing speed was slowing down. And I have some projects that I'm working on. So I need to be able to get done what I need to get done. But on a low capacity day, guess what? I simply was like, I'm going to wash my hair. Notice I didn't get around to styling it. I just washed this clean. Okay. I cut my nails down and filed them. And I'm ready to start fresh today. That's it. Low capacity days. I did my 3 things for my low capacity day. Right. So now, number 5, what if I don't complete all 3 intentions? Review the day without condemning yourself. Ask what helped. Ask what interfered. And be honest. Be honest with yourself. Ask what adjustments do you need to make for tomorrow. An unfinished intention may still reveal something valuable about your priorities, about your capacity, about your current needs. So look at it from a different standpoint. It's not condemnation, it's accountability. Figure out what happened. Accountability is about awareness and adjustment, not about punishment. Nobody's trying to punish you for not completing something. I'm trying to help you. So guess what? I'm not going to condemn you for not completing something. There were some things I needed to get done yesterday, but that didn't happen. So guess what? They have to happen today. I'm not in a low capacity day today. So guess what? There's a greater chance that those things are going to get done. See how that works? But I did have some forward momentum and I did make sure some things were set in place. Didn't get a whole lot done, but I did get the cleaning that I wanted to get done. I did make sure that the shredding was done, low capacity things, right? Accountability is about awareness, adjustment, not punishment, right? Number 6, can my intentions be emotional instead of task oriented? Absolutely. Your intentions can be whatever you need them to be for you. This is your journey, right? So your intentions may be remain calm during a difficult conversation, to ask for help when you need it, to allow yourself to rest without guilt, to speak kindly to yourself. Emotional and rational intentions can be just as transformational as completing a task. And sometimes they're even more impactful. A lot of us have a tendency to speak harshly to ourselves when we don't do something or we skip something, miss something, didn't get around to it, whatever. Life happens. And you have to be willing to show yourself that same compassion that you show to others because you deserve it more than anybody else. Think about how many other things you're carrying the burden and the load of today, right now. As a parent, as a spouse, as a child, as an aunt, as a worker, as a business owner, as a minister, as a counselor, as a nurse, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as you name it, whatever your capacity is. So being gracious and loving and forgiving to yourself, speaking to yourself kindly, can definitely be one of your intentions. Right? Hi. So, number 7, how can intentions help when I'm grieving? Grief can affect your memory. It can affect your concentration. It can affect your motivation, your energy, and even your decision-making skills. A few written intentions reduce the number of decisions that your mind has to carry. You're making these things more simple, more achievable. You're making this easier for yourself. Like I said, on your low capacity days, you have to have just a few things set aside and structured, written out. I'm going to do just this on my low capacity day, and I'm going to actually take some time and rest. Does that mean that you're lazy? Heck no. It means that you are tending to your mental state, your emotional state, as well as your physical state. So during grief, an intention may be very gentle. Today, I intend to eat. And a few days back, when I was dealing really heavily with the grief of my loss, I forgot to eat. My husband called and he's like, "Did you eat?" He stopped his day and came and was like, "Look, here's some food. I need for you to eat." It was light because he knew I wasn't going to eat it much. And but he stopped his day to come and remind me to eat. Today, I intend to rest. Today, I intend to complete one necessary responsibility. You don't have to have a whole checklist. It can be very simple. It can be very light. But guess what? As long as it's giving you some forward momentum and reminding you, take care of the vessel that is you. Small, compassionate intentions still represent meaningful progress. Remember, we're not aiming for perfection. We're aiming for progress. There is a difference. It is. So number 8, what if other people's demands interfere with your intentions? Pause before you automatically say yes. Because baby, no is a complete sentence all by itself, and it does not require an explanation. But ask, is it urgent? An emergency in someone else's life does not constitute an emergency in yours. So ask, is it urgent? Does this support or disrupt today's priorities? Some requests, may require your attention. Others may need a boundary, a later response, or a respectful no. Does that make sense to everyone? Give me some hearts, give me some thumbs up, some 4s in the chat. Come on, people, talk to me. The more you talk to me, the more I can talk back to you, right? Okay. So now, question number 9. How does gratitude connect with vision? Okay, great question. Gratitude helps you emotionally recognize that progress, responsibilities, and provision are already present in your life, in your circumstances, and in your situations. You are not pretending that the future is fully arrived. No, you are thanking God for the seeds. Remember, the difference between a seed being planted and being buried, something being planted and buried, is the intentions of the one doing the digging, right? So you put the seed there, but you're going to make sure it gets the sun. You're going to make sure it gets water and nourishment. And when it has all the tools that it needs in that environment, it will grow and produce a harvest, right? So we thank God for the seeds, for the opportunity, for the lessons, for the support, for the growth that we are helping move towards the goal. It does not have to be that, oh, I got to reach it today. I got to finish it today. It can simply be, today I'm making positive steps in the right direction. Does that make sense to everyone? Can I get some hearts, some thumbs up in the chat? Come on, talk to me, people. Yes, thank you. Okay, absolutely. So now, question number 10. Like I told you, I'm only doing 10 questions. How do I know whether an intention is aligned? An aligned intention should support your values, your well-being, responsibilities, healing, and even your purpose. So you can find that out by asking this. So ask, does this move me toward the person I want to become? Does this honor my current capacity? Your capacity changes from day to day. Does this produce clarity or unnecessary pressure? Being honest with yourself when you're answering these questions gives you the opportunity to begin to unfold and unpack not just your emotions, but your intentions. Does this agree with my faith and my values? Your faith and your values may be totally different than mine. So that's a question for you. Does this agree with your faith and your values? If the answer is yes, then it's an alignment. If the answer is I'm not sure, then maybe you need to go back to the drawing board and understand what your faith really is, what your values really are, and then come back to the questions. So here's my 3 intention method, right? Write one statement in each category. Remember, this is part of what we're doing all month. For the body, what does my body need today? For my being, how do I want to think, feel, or respond today? For the becoming, what action supports the future I am building? So an example of that looks something like this. For the body, today, I intend to drink enough water. Then I have my herbal tea. See a theme here? Right. Okay. For my being, today, I intend to protect my peace. It can be just that simple, right? It doesn't have to be difficult. For my becoming, today, I intend to complete one meaningful business task. See how that works? Thank you all for the heart me's. And so with that, I want you all to understand the questions are not to challenge you or to make you feel like, oh, I'm forced to do this. It's literally for you to move forward. Progress doesn't have to be perfection. It just builds momentum. So every single day we're building momentum. We're building momentum, right? So the vision filter is this. Before saying yes to anyone for anything, or changing your schedule, ask yourself this: does this support one of today's intentions? Does it support it? Does this require my attention today? Does it? What will I have to neglect if I respond to this? Ooh, that's a good one, right? This tool helps you separate what is truly important from what is simply demanding attention. And sometimes just because something is demanding attention doesn't mean that it's requiring your attention for real. And so sometimes we have to think about that and we have to adjust, right? So the 5-minute clarity reset. When you feel scattered, take your time. I always tell people, number one, stop what you're doing. Just stop. In my mind, I heard stop in the name of love. Okay, so don't pay me any attention though. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're going to stay focused. Stop. Number two, place both feet flat on the floor. Remember, we did this yesterday. We did it Saturday as well. Put both feet flat on the floor. We're going to roll our shoulders back. We're going to take 3 cycles. We're going to breathe in our nose to the count of 4. Hold it at the top to the count of 4. And then we breathe out our mouth to the count of 6. Do that 2 more times for me. Last time. And out your mouth at the count of 6. Now read your 3 intentions for today out loud to yourself. Go ahead, I'm waiting. And then number 5, choose the smallest next action and do that. You don't have to solve the entire day. You only need to identify the next clear step. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe the next clear step is to get up, take a walk outside in the sun, drink something cool and refreshing, do some breath work, come back a little bit more focused, do one step that pulls you to forward momentum, right? So here's the intention parking lot, is what I call it, right? The parking lot. So you keep a separate page for ideas and tasks that arise during the day, but are not connected to your three intentions. So, do you have a notepad that you can have close to you at all times that has, hey, these are the things that came to me while I was doing my intentional things and I did not get to them? Be gracious to yourself, okay? Write them down instead of immediately changing directions and trying to work and do that. When you write them down, it helps you to remember to come back to them. Does that make sense? Okay. This reassures your mind that the idea will not be forgotten while protecting your current focus. That's vital. When you can protect your current focus and you're not easily swayed or changing tides or changing directions, you accomplish more. It's more important to complete 2 tasks than to have started 10 and completed none. Right? See how that works? Okay, so now here's some future gratitude practices that you can try. Complete this sentence 3 times. I am thankful for the future in which, 3 different versions of that. I am thankful for the future in which. So an example could be like this. I am thankful for the future in which I feel emotionally restored. I am thankful for the future in which Training for Life is serving my clientele consistently all around the world. I am thankful for the future in which I trust myself to follow through on everything I say. That's major. Then choose one small action that supports one of those statements. So for me, because yesterday's a low capacity day, you all know I just did my 50-50-50s, right? Today I'm going to work out. So that's why I'm dressed like this. I'm working out. I'm a little late with my day, but that's okay because guess what? I took some time and I got some much needed rest this morning because, like I said, last week was traumatic and it was a lot. And I needed the rest so that I can come back focused and ready for whatever today was planning to throw at me. So this is day 3 reminders. Clarity before activity. Being busy is not the same as moving forward. It's not. Choosing only 3 intentions. This way, your mind does not need 30 things that it has to prioritize and compete with. Just 3. Just 3. Write them where you can see them on a consistent basis. Keep them on your phone, on your desk, on your mirror, or your journal, and your journal, right? Modify without shame. I need for you to understand something. An intention can be adjusted when your emotional or physical capacity changes. When my emotional capacity was low yesterday, I had to shift. That shift did not mean that I did not do it. I did not perform. I did not show up. No, I showed up. But guess what? I also showed myself grace. Right? So, return when distracted. Losing focus does not mean that your day is ruined. Remember, we don't restart, we resume. Does that resonate? Okay, protect your vision. Not every request, every conversation, or every opportunity deserves immediate access to your energy. Sometimes setting boundaries can be the safest and most restorative thing that you can do for yourself. Mhm. Celebrate movement. I always tell people movement is medicine. If you ever watch Grey's Anatomy, there's a thing that they used to do in the first couple of seasons where they would dance it out. I don't know if they still do it because I haven't watched, but they would turn on some music after a really hard day and they just jump around, jump around. Try that, dance it out. Because one completed aligned action is more valuable than several unfinished reactions. So I don't care if you have kids and they have a trampoline in the backyard, go out there and get on the trampoline with the kids. Go stand on a vibration plate and let it shake you. Go for a walk out in the woods. Look at the green leaves. Inhale the air. Go in your front yard or your backyard, wherever the dogs or the animals are not pooing, and take your shoes and socks off and put your feet in the grass to ground yourself, right? Movement is medicine. Allow grief or overwhelming or anxiety and purpose to coexist. You can honor your emotions while gently taking your next steps. It does not have to be this overwhelming, forced thing. It can literally be, I am grieving, or I am in grief, but I am also making progress. Not perfection, progress. And there's a difference, right, between progress and perfection. And that difference looks like you honoring who you are, where you are, and loving yourself through the process. So our intentions today, I will become clear about what matters. I will write 3 intentions, protect my attention. I'll write 3 intentions and protect my attention and take 1 aligned step towards the future I am thankful for. Remember that future that we visualized earlier in the conversation? That future, right? I saw an interview with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. She's if you all are not track fans, I used to run track with Junior Olympics, so I'm very much so a track fan. But she once held the record for the fastest woman in the 100-yard dash. So she was on Mel Robbins' podcast. And so if you follow Mel Robbins or go to her page on YouTube, you can find the interview that she did with Shelly Ann Fraser-Price. And that was one of the most encouraging and impactful interviews I've heard in a very, very long time. She spoke to the inner person. She spoke to the mental challenges, but also doing the mental work, doing the inner work. She spoke to, once you understand that it's you against you, not you against anybody outside of you, you against you, then the chatter from the outside no longer has the same effect that it had previously. You're not moved or swayed by what people think or say about you, but you are honestly focused on, this is what I've been practicing for. This is what I've been working towards. This is what I've been building towards. This is what my momentum is all leading to this moment right here. So she would say when she showed up at the line at the 100-yard for the 100-yard meters, 100-yard dash, she showed up there. They'd be introducing, and she would have to try to tune back in to hear them announce her name so she can at least wave. She said, but I knew that when the camera is in front of me, that's when they're talking about me. So I'm like, she's like, and then I lock back in and I shut all the noise out. She said, I don't hear anything. She said, I've trained my mind to listen for when the announcer says, runners, take your mark. She said, everything before then, I have tuned out. She said, I don't care who's on my left or who's on my right. I don't care about their age. I don't care about what people have been saying. I don't care about their records. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is executing what I've been working towards and building towards all this time. How many of us have spent a lifetime building something and working towards something. We had a 9 to 5, but we've been working from 5 to 9 on that passion, that thing that God gave us. And now it's starting to be, it's been birthed. It's been birthed in the earth. And now we have to cultivate this baby and grow and mature this baby. And we have to raise it up to be strong enough to stand on its own and be supported on its own and viable enough to move forward on its own without your hands being on every part of it to make it move, to make it sway, to make it, laugh, to make it, to keep it fed, to keep it dry, all those things, right? If you've ever done any of those things, then you'll understand me when I say this. Everything in your life has been leading to these moments. Every point of rejection, every heartbreak, every bad report, every failed test, every argument you've had, every family dysfunction or disagreement, every interaction, whether good or bad or indifferent, with your family, your children, your neighbors, your spouse, your coworkers, your boss, your bank, whomever, whatever. You have 100% success record on surviving the most tumultuous days of your life. You survived it. Now I challenge you all to take that strength and that resiliency and let's move forward. We're no longer going to stay stuck at the small versions of ourselves. We are going to do the inner work. And that's what this is about, the 30-day journey of accountability. This is what it's about, the inner work to heal, to grow, to begin to manifest the life that we have dreamed of and envisioned for ourselves. I challenge you, at least 3 to 5 times a day, sit for 5 minutes and just imagine yourself in the perfect version, your perfect life, the perfect world, driving the car you want, or the car of your dreams, living in the house of your dreams, having the company or the job position of your dreams, having the ability to create the legacy that you've been dreaming about doing. Envision all of that at least 5 times every single day. And guess what will happen? Your brain won't know the difference between you envisioning it and it being real. And then it's going to start to make it be made manifest in this realm, in this 3D realm. That's what we're working on. This is what we're building. We're building a firm foundation so that internally we become stronger and better. Externally, we are becoming the greatest versions of us. We are becoming the absolute glorified and amplified versions of the people who we were when we were created by the Creator, when He placed every single thing that we needed for us to be the answer to the issue in the earth that we were sent here to be before the foundations of the world. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you feel it? Can you see it? And if you do, then let's go and become those versions of ourselves. Let's go and make this vision happen. I don't know what your vision is. You do. But if you want to share it in the private Facebook group, absolutely, because guess what? I'll touch and agree with you. But we're doing this. So I'm excited for you all. I'm looking forward to it. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow for day 4. If you have not already sent me a request to join the private Facebook group and you're not in it, let me know. And guess what? I'm not just talking to women. If you want to join the private Facebook group as a man and you want to join us in this journey, please, by all means, reach out. My goal is not to sit here and say who gets an opportunity for me to walk with and hold your hand. If you want me to walk with you to help you become the best and greatest version of yourself, and guess what? I am honored, humbled, and pleased to be that vessel that will help you reach that point. Does that make sense? So let's go forth in power. Let's go forth in purpose. Remember, we are training for life. And this is training for life. Here, we're going to heal, we're going to regulate, and we're going to thrive. And I'm here to help you do so. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow on day 4. Go to the private Facebook group so you can get the calendar and you can follow along. We're growing together. We got 28 more days. Let's go. Excuse me, 27 more days. I say no, 28 because it's 31 days in August. So we have 28 more days because day 31, we're going to do something special. I love you all to life. Go forth, have a prosperous and an abundant day. Moving in power and authority. And if it's a low capacity day, moving in grace and love.